Hi, I'm Neil Sackmary.
Hi, I'm State Trooper Sean Hagstrom with the Nevada State Police Highway Patrol Division, PEIO. Please stay tuned for the next episode of Trooper Talk.
And together, we can make a difference. Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with this edition of Trooper Talk. The gentleman on the end you might know, but somebody in the middle you might not. Please introduce yourself and tell us what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm Sean Hagstrom. I'm a State Trooper with the Nevada Highway Patrol Public Affairs, and I'm the Public Information Officer.
And you, sir, first time on Trooper Talk.
Yes.
Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Troy Hollis. I'm the Highway Equipment Maintenance Supervisor. I oversee the vehicle maintenance and radio shop repairs, and for the entire fleet of the Region 1.
And I don't see you wearing a firearm.
No,
I'm a civilian, and that's fantastic. We're going to talk about that, okay? And you, sir.
I'm Trooper Villanueva, Nevada State Police. I am the sworn recruiter for Region 1, our Center Command.
And his hair is always perfect. You know what I mean?
His is the same too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? I must tell you, you know what I mean?
He never has a bad hair day.
Right.
Try to keep it nice.
We always want to laugh and joke and have a good time. You know what I mean? And so it's very, very important. I'm sure you know that his wife and his mom work for Nevada State Police, and we talk about these things.
Okay.
These type of things are very important because we are trying to find the finest people to join Nevada State Police, whether they're sworn or unsworn. So when it comes to your position, what I want to talk about is a few different things, okay? First of all, nothing we do is scripted, okay? I don't think about things. I literally, I'm driving here in the morning and I'm like, I want to talk about this, or you know what I mean? Like we were just having a conversation. I was like, don't say anything more. I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
One of the things that's very special about the Nevada State Police is that someone can join at age 18. Mm-hmm. They can work for Nevada State Police. They can learn all the codes. They can do all the maintenance for the cars and all this type of stuff. And then, if they so choose, they can become a sworn officer and at 21 carry a firearm and do all this type of stuff. Your job is very intensive. I can only imagine, not only every trooper that we always talk about has to have their things in their position that they like and all this type of stuff, but you know things that no one else knows, which makes your job even that much more intensive. So when you wake up and you start your day and you go to work, talk to us about the mindset of you driving and, like, do you prepare yourself, things of this nature?
Okay. Yeah, so every day on my way to work, well, the first thing I wake up and think about is, making sure these guys are safe. The worst thing I hate to see the most is when I get an email saying there's been a trooper in an accident or, something like that. So when I get to work, I just want to be prepared to, take command of that. First thing I do is make sure the officer's okay. But then the next thing I do is go through and I talk to my mechanics to make sure all the vehicles are all safe and serviceable. That's their office. That's where they're in most of the day. So it's important to me that every vehicle that leaves my shop is safe for these guys and women. And that's the big thing, is making sure that they're taken care of, making sure that my mechanics do a great job. I would say that's the biggest thing that runs through my mind, is making sure everything's good with them.
And how long have you been working for Nevada State Police?
So I started in February, so I'm fairly new to the
And what did you do before?
So prior to this, I was in the Air Force.
Okay.
I served for 21 years.
We thank you for your service.
And I actually did.
Did you do the bridge program?
I did. I'll get to that.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
So, but it took me on another path, so I'll get there.
Yeah, I want to hear all about it.
But so my job in the Air Force was pretty much what I do for the state police. I was a fleet manager. I started off through the ranks, so I was a mechanic. Made my way up to a supervisor, like a section supervisor, and then eventually a fleet manager, and made my way up to headquarters in Columbia, South Carolina. It oversaw the Middle East region, so I had a fleet of about 10,000 vehicles that I would oversee. and make sure that they were serviceable, make sure all the troops were getting the parts downrange that they needed. But then, things started shifting, and I knew it was my time to retire. So I decided I wanted to do the SkillBridge program. My retirement date was January 31st of 23. I was able to begin my SkillBridge in August, so it gave me about 6 months of time to work with another company. I ended up going into insurance and becoming a property adjuster. Totally something I never thought I would do. I originally did my SkillBridge to become an auto appraiser, but I ended up getting with Travelers Insurance, worked with them for a while, but I wanted to get back into fleet, dealing with vehicles and equipment. So I made my rounds. I did a few supervisor positions with heavy equipment, and I seen an opening here with the Nevada State Police, and I was like, I applied and got the position, and it was great. Happy to be here.
And so, when we talk about what you had to do, without getting into super specifics, we're going to talk to him about it, but do you have to go through academy? Like, you knew what you were doing, right? So,
Yeah.
from a civilian standpoint, you apply for a job, you go through different things, and then they accept you. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so they do a thorough background investigation when you get hired on. It took a little bit of time for them to get that completed, and then I don't go to the academy or anything that they do. I got hired on. I had a service fleet specialist there. She was training me. She was already on her way out the door to retire. But she's the one that gave me the training I needed. It was pretty crammed, and she gave me about a month and a half worth of training in the position, and I just kind of took it from there. It's pretty similar to what I did in the Air Force, because I was able to pick it up pretty quickly. I'm still learning, but thankfully I got a good team that helps me out. I have 2 shop leads that work under me, one for the radio shop, one for the mechanic side. And I kind of rely on them for any questions I may have, anything I'm unsure of, and if they don't have the answer, then I'll just reach out up north and our Northern Command. That's where my manager's at, and he provides assistance as needed. But yeah, the hiring process is way different than I don't know if it's different, but I'd say the onboarding is I don't have to do the academy or anything like they do, so it's more civilian type.
The sworn technically won't go through the academy unless there is an academy going. However, what's really cool about the SkillBridge program is that the military, Air Force, Marines, all the branches will provide up to 6 months for the program. So let's say you are month 3 of your internship is essentially what it is, and there's an academy starting. We will put you through the academy. However, what's going to happen is that the branches are going to pay for your salary essentially, and then as soon as you're done with your contract with the military, you jump over to the state, and the state will take over your contract. So if you're non-sworn and you want to become sworn, we'll put you in the office. You can work at the front office. You can work at the garage with these guys to put our cars together, kind of understand what the equipment and all of the electrical stuff does in our car. That's with Highway Patrol. With parole and probation, you can work in the office as well, doing court reports, getting stuff ready to send to the courts. You might have a caseload that you're going to supervise, but you'll have officers that go out and do the field work for you. So the SkillBridge program is a really good program to kind of get your feet in, just to make sure that it's something that you want to do. And then what I stress to these people too is that while you're on the SkillBridge program, you're able to do as many ride-alongs as you want to do, or go out and do. So then that way, again, you get a full effect of what you're going to be doing once your contract is over and you get to the academy. So the SkillBridge program is a very good program. I encourage people to utilize it, especially if they're kind of unsure if law enforcement's the way that they want to go. They can kind of jump into it and be like, hey, I got a feel for it. I don't know if it's for me or not. Or the complete opposite is, no, I absolutely want to do this. So it's a really good program that we're able to utilize.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I love the fact that he's doing this stuff.
Right.
Very modest, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that when it comes to the equipment that you drive, your stuff is not like most people. You drive it every day. It's your take-home car, so you're driving it from your house, and you're signing on at work, signing on in the driveway, and you're going. And so when you have a problem and you need someone to fix your office, you can't be like, oh, well, listen, we'll get to it in 3 weeks. We're sending it to, we're sending it to this guy. You know what I mean? No, you're like, look, I need a temporary car for the day, or you know what I mean, whatever it might be. But like, I need this fixed because this is what I drive. This is what people see me in. There's specific inherent responsibilities that you guys have with the Mustangs that you do that are very important, right?
Yeah, and this is one of the great things about having our own garage.
Right.
Because we can check out a spare if we have some bigger problems other than an oil change. Because if it's an oil change and like getting brakes or something, troopers will wait for that. And they have a different schedule where you're going to come in and they know how much time it is. So if it's an hour and a half or something, those troops, we even have an office next to the garage where they can do all their paperwork and get everything done. So there's really no time wasted. So while they're doing their paperwork, they're getting that oil change, they're getting brakes done. They're doing safety checks every time these cars get in. If it needs anything, it gets replaced. Yeah. You know what I mean? If it needs like other than calipers and it needs an exhaust system or anything, they don't want you going out there. Like he said, he wants the car completely safe because that's our office where those cars are running nonstop and have to be driven at high speeds quite a bit. And we need to get to places, in a sense of urgency, depending on what kind of emergencies we have to go to. So having these garages and having our own mechanics, like you said, sometimes, with civilians, you might be a month out to get stuff done, and we can't wait. So that's the reason we got. And one of the great things, I'm so glad that he agreed to come do this, is because not only is he work for NHP, but he's a civilian. And we could describe, being former military, how the Skill Bridge program works. Right. And I'm like, it hit all the spots, and I'm like, perfect, Troy, we need to get you in. And I was glad for him to get on the show. If you can, Neil, just go to the first first slide, because I
don't look at the pictures.
Yeah, I gave Johnny some pictures to put in there, and then Troy can kind of tell you, because we also have the radio shop where they do all of our radios. They get all of our light bars, everything put in there. And then we also have this large mechanics garage where we do all the actual services for it. So he can kind of tell you what's going on with different places, and I'll let him do it because it's his place. I already know about it, but I want him to give you a chance to kind of explain. These are some of the photos I took, and here are some of his fine, I got some of the garage mechanics there. I said, hey, you guys got a pose for me the other day, so. Go from there. Go ahead, Troy.
He's great, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he's real great.
Tell me all about this. So
up in the top, that's our accident vehicles. Those are vehicles that were involved with the accidents while doing their duties. We hold them there. We usually do that to wait on insurance to come out there and give us their estimate, or auto body shops to provide us with their estimates. And then up here in the top, the top middle, that's our maintenance bay. They're more likely have the vehicle up, performing an inspection of the undercarriage, making sure there's no leaks, making sure nothing's damaged underneath. They check the brakes, and just kind of go through it from front to back and back to front.
We went to the new office. So this is the new office?
No, we don't have it.
It's the old
office.
Right, it's the old perfect.
Yeah,
so this is in the very back.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. Because we actually went to there, but we never went to this end. Okay. So now I understand where we're at. Okay. Yeah. So you do the motorcycles too.
So the motorcycles are contracted out. The radio guys will handle the radio side, the communication side of it. But yeah, those typically go down to BMW. We'll coordinate with BMW to do the repairs, and usually the motors team, they'll take them down there for us, and they do the repairs.
Because they're still under warranty, and they want to keep it with BMW. So when they start getting that higher mileage, they'll keep it on that warranty. Once those warranties get going, we're ordering new bikes anyways, because that's a major thing to have good bikes on the road. You know what I mean? That's a lot more 100%. Dangerous than your regular cars. Yeah. One of the things on the bottom left, I don't know if the public can see it here, but we have whole rows of new vehicles that have not been striped or have any of the lights, whether they're inside or outside light bars and striped. Yeah. So our garage, our communication guys, which this would be the radio shop, correct?
Top right.
They'll take when they get ready to take these cars down, they'll strip them down and take everything out of them to go to auction. And they might use some of the equipment, but a lot of stuff is brand new equipment. So when these new cars get in there, they'll restripe them, they'll put the radios in, the cages, they'll set up everything that you need, and he's in charge of both the radio communication shop and the garage shop.
What's
But
it
then,
like? You sit in the back with the cage? What's that like? Here's my question. You install the cage, right? Well, not you, but the team does, right?
yeah.
Okay. Have you ever installed the cage before?
I have not had the opportunity to install it yet.
So I just wonder what it's like to be able to like see, and then you put that up there, and you're like, okay, now I'm in a police car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying, and sort of like, because one of the things that we like to talk about here, which is very important, is unfortunately we have a lot of people that are passing away because of impairment, because of speed, and because of things like this. So we don't ever want to scare, but we want people to know the reality of that if you break the law, that, you know, these guys are nice and they'll laugh and they'll hang out with you and do all this stuff, but if you're at that point where the law is being broken, that they have a sworn obligation, and sorry, you know what I mean? Like, it sort of is what it is. And so seeing this and seeing the amount of this operation that you oversee, do you feel like, without asking your age, but do you feel like a real sense of accomplishment for what it is that you do every day?
Oh yeah, every time I drive down the highway and I see these guys on the side of the road, I'm like, yeah, that's one of my vehicles right there.
Yeah.
But the first thing I do is make sure that they're okay. That's the first thing I do when I drive by, is making sure that these guys aren't in an accident, or that they're doing their job safely. But yeah, I get a huge sense of pride when I see them going down the highway. And especially when one leaves the shop and we assign it to a new trooper, when they get that new vehicle, the look on their face, they're so happy and excited when they get the keys to their new unit, because typically we give them an older unit in the beginning, and then we'll assign them newer ones later on as they get higher up. And yeah, they're, even with giving them the new old units when they're fresh out of the academy, we had like 15 of them this last one, and every single one of them was like, oh, they were excited to get the keys, and you could tell they're big smiles on their face, but they're trying to be serious at the same time. But it was good. It was good seeing that, when seeing them get their vehicles and knowing that they're going to go out there and do their job safely. So
we need people to know that it's the most wonderful thing, right? The take-home car. People come in all the time, and they're like, I sort of talk to them about it, or I talk to them about the show or whatever, right? And I'm like, listen, if you can do it, I go, it's the most fantastic thing. You get the take-home car. I go, it's not easy. Like, you're putting in 30 years of your life, you know what I mean? And like, you're working hard. You're not like just sitting on the side of the road, and no, you know what I mean? Like, maybe other agencies do things differently, but like, that's not the way it is. But Nevada State Police needs them.
Right.
Skillbridge. Transfer from another agency. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I heard the other day that the PERS system that you guys use, that another agency is taking more for their retirement. You know what I mean? And so, by working for Nevada State Police, there's so many benefits. There's so many ways to take your career and never be stagnant.
Right.
And so that's something that you've done, and a lot of people have done.
Yeah, and having these guys is such a huge benefit. It's another added benefit to already all the other stuff that the state provides for you. This is your take-home car. You take this vehicle home with you every single night. You start it every single day. If one day you go to start your shift and there's something going on with your car that hasn't happened before, you go to these guys and they'll look at it right then and there, and if they can fix it, they'll fix it right then and there. So that's such a huge benefit, because with some of the other local agencies, a lot of their fleet go to like actual mechanic shops around town. They don't have their own garages. They don't fix them right then and there. And even then, that's not their own personal vehicle. They have to go and trade out another vehicle. They have to get all of their gear out of their car and put it into another one. Hey, this one's not working. Let me switch it again. So having these guys is such a huge benefit. And having them know what they're doing with the equipment that's in our car, because a lot of the equipment that's in our car is so high tech and so is just great equipment, is amazing. On top of that, they provide a wealth of knowledge to us. Like, hey, I don't know what's going on with my radio. Like, can you show me how to fix it, or show me what to do so this doesn't happen again? They'll sit with you and they kind of go through the radio functions with you, and they teach you how to work the radio. So it's a really good benefit, and we need a lot of people to understand that, yeah, we get take-home cars, but on top of the take-home cars, we have people that take care of these cars for us, and it's not something that you have to worry about. It's not something that you have to worry about paying for. You don't have to pay for the oil changes. You don't have to pay for gas. You don't have to do any of that stuff. We have mechanics and a great team that takes care of us. Every single day.
And the proper maintenance.
Yep.
Make sure that the cars are always running efficiently.
Yeah.
Well,
And you know, just bringing it in for like he told you, when those cars go on the rack up there, they check from the rear to the front,
Yep.
everything. I mean, if there's a suspension going out or anything, done.
Yeah.
They tell, hey, we're getting that done right now. We want to make this completely safe. But if they keep up with the maintenance, the daily maintenance,
Yep.
we don't have the issues
Yeah.
of breakdowns and all this stuff. That's why our car's always running. And being a trooper, we take a lot of pride, so our cars are always washed. They always look good. Same with our uniforms. I mean, that's something that we're trained at the academy. But I want the public to know, too, is also parole and probation.
Yeah.
They get take-home cars, too. A lot of our other divisions all get take-home cars. So it's just not only highway patrol. All these other divisions, you get take-home cars to go home every night. So that alleviates a lot of things, you know, as far as cost factors and everything else for you.
Money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, look at NevadaStatePolice.com, because we're always looking for Nevada's finest.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it might seem like a tough job, but it's very beneficial, not only for yourself but for the public, knowing that you had a satisfaction that you are doing a good for your community, and not only for just Las Vegas Valley, but for the entire state of Nevada, because we are representing the state of Nevada.
And what I was going to say to you was, you know, you brought it up, which was, you know, listen, sometimes you can drive slow, and you could drive slow for 98% of the day. You know what I mean? But then you have that 2%. Listen, I went for a drive on Sunday. This guy drove past me, okay? I was at like maybe 78 miles an hour, driving, not bothering anybody in the middle lane, right? And this guy blew past me like in a car, like nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? And even before I could even think about picking up the phone to try to call, I mean, this guy was like gone. And so, you know, this could be a trooper who's just driving normally 98% of the day, you know, did this, helped the person, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you know, this person blows past that trooper because they have nothing better in the life to do. And now this trooper is in a high-speed chase at 130 miles an hour because this guy or girl, you know what I mean, is a lunatic.
And putting lives in danger.
Putting lives in danger.
Absolutely.
And so these automobiles, right, the cruisers and the Mustangs and all, they need to be in perfect condition.
Yeah.
And so that's why what you do is so important. We talk about you all the time. We talk about how we want young people to come in to start and to do these things and to learn these things. You know what I mean? Because this is a career. Now, let me ask you a couple personal questions. You get the regular benefits of being a state trooper in the sense of, you know, your retirement and all this type of stuff, right?
Yes, we
Like,
get
like
perks.
I mean,
Yep.
forgetting your military, right? But from the you're starting to build your retirement,
Yes.
right? So you get that benefit, like of the state and the whole thing, like sort of the same package, right?
Yes, the same thing.
And you get health and medical and you know what I mean? All
Yeah.
those great benefits that you want to have, right? And what was the transition like? Like, you know, from the skill bridge to where you are today, if you had to do it over again, right? Is there something that you would have changed? Is there a different way you would have done so that people understand what that skill bridge program is?
But yeah, it's a huge benefit to everybody that can do it. Yeah, we had a soldier recently in our shop that did the skill bridge, Army soldier, and he was an artillery guy and wanted to become an officer. So he went from something totally that he out of his element and came down, went on ride-alongs, got to see how our shop operates, got to see how the command operates. So he made his rounds, and he really enjoyed it, and I think that's where his future is going to take him, is law enforcement. Thanks to all the troopers out there showing him the way and guiding him and showing him how rewarding this career could be. Becoming a state trooper.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
But
Yeah,
Alright.
Neil, look at even on the side over here. This is some of the cars
The extra
waiting.
Mustang?
It's another Mustang, but look, it hasn't been striped out yet.
Yeah.
That's all it's waiting for is stripes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the
Yeah,
package
right.
to come down from headquarters.
Yeah.
so
You,
they can
you
set
get
it
the
up.
take-home car?
No, we don't get the take-home car as a civilian, but
I mean, the one you drive now. You that,
but
that
the
yeah.
one that I drive now,
The
so
taxi, right?
we call it a taxi. It's an unmarked, no lights. It's pretty much one of the brand new cars down there that you see in the corner.
Uh-huh.
We just haven't put all the equipment in it yet. So we have 3 of those that we keep, so that way they could use to, take home on their day off if they need to, turn their vehicle in for maintenance. That way they don't have to send out a spare, because I like to keep the spares available for the road, for the troopers to use them on the road and not be sitting in a driveway. So that's something we have available as well, so they could take spares home and if needed.
And they can use them for like
yeah.
parts, picking up
Yep.
parts. They'll drive to auctions, right?
Yeah.
You guys got to
Yeah.
take all the cars. The old cars go to auctions,
old, right.
state
So
auctions.
after,
all that,
Yeah, so we'll take those as civilian use. We could take them and pick up parts, take them to lunch if we need to, appointments, and we just got assigned 2 brand new white Ford Explorers that are civilian use. They're never going to be marked. They're like one you'd buy straight off the lot at the Ford dealership. So we have one that we're going to keep at the shop, and then we have one that we're going to let the command use, so that way the civilians could do their errands as well. So that's a huge benefit having
It's
these
like
vehicles.
amazing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like a whole little city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what we got for this one. All right, what is this? He just likes to show off the cars. You know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful.
What to do if you were in a property damage crash? Now, we had Miss Stevenson come on from the front office, and then when we got to go to the new building, we went to Johnny and I got to see the new front office there, right?
Absolutely.
The front office is a vital part of the Nevada State Police, okay? Because one of the things that was really interesting was that people don't know what it is to do. I was involved in a crash, right? What am I supposed to do? Do I call the police? Do I call 911? Do I call Star NHP, right? It's not a real injury, but maybe the guys or girls getting belligerent, and I'm sort of like, now I'm on the side of the highway, and, these are real things that happen. And so the Nevada State Police is there to protect and, make sure that everybody is safe. And so sometimes it involves, things that you weren't there in the beginning that you now have to figure out. And so that's one of the things that Nevada State Police does. And after that, they have the crash reports and all these type of things that we see when we went to your office that are stacked like this, right? So talk to us a little bit about this.
Yeah, when you were talking a little bit about, I'm going to go off of what you just said about people making reports at the office, because unfortunately we still have like almost 70 hit and run crashes that people get struck and then they don't know what to do, and then they come to our office, which they can't come to our office, and we'll have one of the civilians there do a report. They'll take photos of the car and take all the information so our investigators can do a follow-up on that. But one of the reasons I wanted to put this up here is in the Vegas Valley, We have 46,000 crashes on average every year in Las Vegas. It's crazy. And NHP does at least 17,000 of those on our interstates just in the Vegas Valley. So, and then our partners like Metro, North Las Vegas, Henderson, they pick up all the other crashes in their jurisdictions or whatever. So I really wanted to hit this home here and let people know at home what to do if you do get in just a property damage crash. We're talking about that, but we'll talk a little bit about injury too. But if you do get in what we call like a fender bender or property damage crash, remain calm. First thing you're going to do is make sure that you're okay, everybody in your car is okay, and then if you're able to get out and find out if the other person's injured, that's the first thing you're going to do is make sure everybody's okay if there's an injury crash or not. Next thing you're going to do is pick up that 911 or call Star NHP, that goes into our Highway Patrol dispatch, and let them know that you were involved in a property damage crash. If those cars are movable and it's property damage, what I try to tell people, if it's safe to do so, try to take some photos first or video the scene, and then try to get those cars out of the traffic. You're required by law to at least pull it out of heavy traffic to get it off to the shoulder. So now you're in a safe place, you're not tying up traffic, and the main thing is it's not about tying up traffic. When you have a crash there on the interstate and you got a lot of people with a lot of movement going on, that it makes it more susceptible for more crashes to happen. So that's why we want, if it's just a property damage, go ahead and just move it off to the right shoulder and wait for NHP to get out there. Always get ready and make sure that you have your driver's license, your registration, and your insurance ready, because when they're going to do the report, when the trooper arrives, they're going to end up starting on that report. Once you got those cars off to the side of the shoulder too, make sure that if you're not the car that got struck from behind, if the other one had struck you or whatever, if your hazards are working, put those hazards on, because you want to have those blinking lights to let everybody know that, hey, there might be a crash or something's going on up ahead to alert people so they can start moving over. We've discussed the move over law numerous times, and when you see stuff like that, we want people to get in the next lanes if possible. Now let's say that you check on this person's injury crash, right? We tell people, do not move that person. Don't try to, be a good Samaritan and move that person if they're injured, because you could cause more injury. The only time you're going to move an injured person out of their car is if it's immediate danger. Car's on fire. Something major is going to happen where you have to physically take that person out of the car. But other than that, if they're just injured, wait until medical arrives on the scene. We've talked on your show before, medical always gets called first before we get called. To make sure if it's an injury crash, we have medical on the scene right away. So it doesn't always happen that way in the rules. Sometimes the troopers are going to show up for the medical, but we're going to offer medical treatment to what we're trained of. If somebody had a heart attack or something, we're going to do CPR. A lot of rural troops have defibrillators. They can hook you up on defibrillators, do all that stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we'll take care of business that way. So yeah, that pretty much sums a lot of it up just for property damage crashes. And don't say that, oh, I'm in a hurry, I got to get to work, and here's some information to gone, because, and especially if you don't leave any information, because now you become a hit and run. And if they have your license plate and we do the investigation, you're going to get charged with a hit and run. Mm-hmm. So make sure there's really no excuse, oh, I was late for work, or that's not going to work. So don't try to do that. Remain on scene. We'll get a trooper or officer, depending on what jurisdiction you are at. Oh, and at the beginning, I forgot to add this too. When you make that 911 call or Star NHP, try to give a precise location where you're at. Hey, I'm close to 15 in Charleston. We're going to be we're in the middle travel lanes, or we're going to try to move to the right shoulder. So that trooper or that officer responding to that call can get to you a lot easier than trying to go and then split all the way across the traffic. They already know where you're at, and then it's easier for medical to get to that car too. So always try to give a good location when you make that call.
With the locations, you can also use landmarks. So if you don't know the area very well, hey, I'm sitting right next to the Aria Hotel and Casino, or hey, I'm sitting next to the Santa Fe. Okay, well, now we know that you're at the 11 in Rancho in the northern part of town.
And our dispatch could probably pull you up on the
Yeah,
camera, and then
absolutely.
they'll let our troopers update them.
Yeah. So just use landmarks if you don't know your area or your way around town. That's one of the
I
best
mean, it's
parts.
scary. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, like the men and women of the Nevada State Police, they're used to these cars whizzing
Right.
past them at 80 miles an hour, and you know what I mean? I don't know how they do it, but they do, right? And so the normal person is like, I see these cars going past me at 80 miles an hour. I'm not opening the door. You know
Right,
what I mean? And so, you know, it's very important that we feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
And
And
so-
remaining calm is probably one of the biggest things too, because I tend to tell people this is probably your worst day that you've had in a really long time. For us, this is the third crash that we've handled today, right? Like, this is normal for us. We're just doing work, but for them, for the civilians, the public, this is the worst thing that could happen to them for the day. So just try to remain as calm as possible. That's probably the biggest thing. You don't want to get all worked up, because then it's going to make things a little bit more hectic. It's going to make us trying to get you guys out of there a little bit harder. So just try to remain calm. Give us a good location so that way we can get you and we'll get you guys out of the road.
And don't get in an argument
Yeah,
either.
no.
No,
Don't get in a fight with people. I know people get upset
Right.
about their vehicles. That's why we carry insurance,
That's right.
and things can be fixed as long as nobody's hurt. That's great, because we're just talking about property damages. You know what I mean? So, you know, some people get irate, and there's no reason to get irate with another person. You know, you don't know what had happened. You know what I mean? So I could be a series of things, and we could go over a lot of things. You know what I mean? Somebody could have a medical situation,
Yeah.
or somebody could be a distracted driver. You know what I mean?
No, I was gonna
or
say
you
that they
made
were
the
drunk.
you made the wrong lane
Right.
change, and you caused the crash. You know what I mean? There's no reason to get upset, and that's the best thing is, like, remain calm, give us the precise locations. You know, but the first thing is to make sure everybody's okay. That's your number one thing, to make sure it's not an injury crash, because things kind of change from there. Because we talked about how our response times are.
Right.
Remember, we're going to handle the injuries first.
Right.
Don't call it injury because you think we're going to get there faster. I'm just saying we got to handle severe injured persons first, and that's why we're going code 3 compared to maybe going code 2 or code 1 to a property damage that where you guys could pull off and wait. You know what I mean? Because
do.
you know, injuries have to come first.
He's just trying to show off because I pulled up my phone the other day and I said, okay, let me give you a quiz. And I started pulling out all these codes and I said, what is this? What is this? Tell me what this is. You know what I'm saying? In your picture, we saw one of the trooper cars from the back. The program I watched the other day I watched this program that follows the police on the weekends, right? And so they had two police cars that were on the side of the road, right? And you know the sheriff actually he drives around like in this town, right? You know he has the other people but he drives around too and all this. So anyway, they're videoing in the car with the sheriff, and he gets on his radio and they go, 2 of your police people just got rammed into by an impaired driver, and they so the sheriff shows up to the scene, right? And the one police car, was sort of like hidden like the other one that like you showed, right? The other one was in the middle of this field with the whole back. I mean, luckily no one was in it, right? Like, they were out, they were investigating a scene. And so it's very dangerous. And so when they are out there, they need to have the most sophisticated equipment, the best quality equipment. They have to know that, these things are there, and that's why having someone oversee that sort of takes what they do and they can at least put that to rest. Like, listen, I'm going to be driving down the road and my wheel might fall off because, the treads on my tire, might be bad, or, I only have 3 lug nuts, and listen, I got to get to the dealership today to get them to put the 4th lug nut on because, the other day I saw it fly out down the road. I mean, these things happen. And we talk about the fact of if it is that there is something that is in the road that you cannot swerve to get out of the way of, you know, a chair, or, you know what I mean, whatever it might be. And so, you know, sometimes things have to be run over. I mean, it sucks, but, you know, it sort of is what it is. And so they have to know that what it is that they're driving is like that. They're trained for the EVOC and all these things to know how the equipment works. So they have to know that when it is that they bring it in, if this person or this person works on their vehicle because this person is off, you know, like it's vacation or who knows, right? That, oh, well, I don't want that guy working on the car. You know, like it's very important. There has to be consistency, right?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. All of our techs are excellent technicians. They're well versed at what they do. They know these vehicles like the back of their hand. So yeah, the troops, they can bring it to any technician in the shop, and they'll be able to diagnose it, get it repaired, and back on the road safely. Yeah, like you said, they go through vehicles, you know, with a fine-tooth comb. As a matter of fact, one of our technicians noticed, because the troopers, they'll put the spares on, spare wheels on themselves, but he did identify before it left the shop that, you know, they had the wrong wheel on there, and it was the lug nuts weren't on all the way. So before it left, they were able to pick that up and get the right wheel on there, get the right hub on there, make sure the trooper, you know, took the vehicle safely. So they're watching those things and making sure that they have everything that they need to be safe. But,
I mean, it's so important. You know what I mean? Like, they're out there, they're protecting, they're doing, and the last thing that they need is to worry that their vehicle, right, while they're, you know, driving very fast or driving very slow, that their vehicle is in the top-notch shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So tell us about what it is that what you're going to do in the next. You're going to work for Nevada State Police.
Oh,
and like what are your sort of plans in the sense of like you like what you do in the supervisory position and stuff like that?
Oh, I love what I do. I plan on staying here and as long as I can. You know, I plan to retire again, get a second pension out of here. But yeah, I enjoy the team. You know, we have a great team of technicians, communications guys, and I have a fleet specialist as well. She's our fleet admin, so she kind of helps me with the paperwork side of things, making sure vehicles are turned in for maintenance timely, communicating with the troopers to make sure they're turning in their vehicles. But yeah, I enjoy working with the troopers. Every single one I've dealt with has been great. They're all professionals. They always work with me really well. Yeah, it's been great. I enjoy it, and yeah, I'm gonna stay here for the long haul.
Another 20 years.
Did you drive one of the Mustangs yet?
No, I haven't drove one yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you look forward to that?
Yeah, I might take one out for a test drive soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Take out the one.
You got that one.
We got
still
the one.
there.
We got one that's unmarked. That might.
Right, taking it to lunch.
Yeah,
You
there
know,
you go.
Hey, Denny, you're not watching.
Cut this out, Johnny.
You know, it's very interesting because these guys have the Mustangs, right?
Yeah.
And so Trooper Hagstrom had it, and you know, we did a little video and stuff like that, you know, in the parking lot and stuff like that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, where we were able to see all the lights and everything like this. I mean, these cars and SUVs and all these things, I mean, they're very sophisticated.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like, oh, throw a radio in there and, you know, plug it into a battery and, you know what I mean? There's the license plate readers and all this, and there's things in there that obviously you can't discuss on the air, right? But it's very important because when they are working, they need to be assured that their radios are working, that they're hearing properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said the other day that he keeps one in the ear and, you know, one here and one on this and all three channels, and you know what I
yeah.
mean? Because you never know what's going to happen, that like all of a sudden, you know, like you need to go somewhere, or somebody's calling for help, or whatever it is. And so that's why when it comes to Nevada's Finest, we talk about it every single week, right? If you want to be lackadaisical, if you want to sort of float by and you want to do these things, it's fantastic. There's thousands of jobs, and there's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you are very special and you know that you're really committed, because it takes 100% commitment from you, from the family. You know what I mean? There's a lot of responsibilities that a person takes, and one of the things that we talk about is the fact that losing friends and losing people that you care for and that have cared for you for however long, that say, listen, I respect you. You're the greatest guy in the world. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I don't want to be friends with a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not what I want to do in my life. So, this is where we sort of part ways. But the Nevada State Police has a family, and is a family, from the command staff all the way down. Just like he just joked on the thing, you're not watching. You know what I mean? It's funny, but but that's the funny part about what we do.
Yeah.
And the command staff loves us because it's just honest and raw, right?
So I think the biggest benefit of it is I think our command staff, every single one at Nevada State Police, including civilian and admin staff, I think we are all under the same assumption that what we do is dangerous and what we do is not easy. You are going to lose family or friends even because of the choices that you made to become a law enforcement officer. So I think that's what helps us be kind of easy with each other, and we get to joke around and have a good time. And we do have that sense of family from the very top to the very bottom, because what we do on a day-to-day basis is not easy. There's days that are a lot harder than others. Whether it be what you're dealing with, what you're seeing, what you're handling at that time. I think from the top to the bottom, we all understand the job that we're out there to do, and we try to kind of play it down a little bit just by joking with each other and having that family kind of bond and kind of feeling throughout the entire state. I mean, if I have captains and majors that are up north that I'm very close to, and they check on me every now and then. So it's just cool to know that it's not just down here in Las Vegas with the people that I interact with daily, but I also have family up north that will check on me on a constant basis. So it's most definitely a very challenging career to get into, and there's going to be some struggles once you start. However, there's, I would say, so many more benefits and so many more rewards that come with the profession, with the career that you jump into. You're going to start creating bonds and creating these kind of connections with your troopers, your fellow troopers, co-workers, civilian staff. You're going to create all these other bonds that are forever. We had a lieutenant that just actually retired or is going to retire. We had a luncheon for her on Tuesday, and it's kind of sad to see her go, but it makes you feel good because you know that she's on her next chapter and now she's going to go do something else, right? But those are just bonds that you create because you're working with them side by side on a day-to-day basis.
And her husband was also a captain.
Yes.
Correct.
That just retired a month prior.
Yes.
Yep.
So they're getting ready to start a whole new life together,
Yeah.
and he's already got a job, and
Yeah.
I think she's going to be a house mom now,
Yes.
and support her that way, and we're glad that they're going in the right direction of
Right.
starting a whole new different life.
In a
you know what I
different
mean?
state.
So
Different state, completely
Yeah,
different
yeah,
state,
100%.
absolutely.
We love them both.
Right.
It's very special.
Yep.
Especially for her because she stepped in ways that you know what I mean. It's
With the
wonderful.
IPOF,
With the
and you
IPOF,
could talk
yep.
about that, Neil.
Right,
She
it's
did a good
fantastic,
job,
you
and
know what I mean.
and what a great function the IPOF does for
Yeah.
all police officers throughout the whole valley. They just don't focus on one; it's everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any officer gets injured or killed in the line of duty, they take care of their families. They put on benefits. You're one of the big benefactors. You put up the tents and do the
We love the
fundraising for
IPOF.
people, and you do amazing things for that. So there's a lot to be said about the IPOF, and
Yeah.
we really we enjoy the job that they do, and we're so glad to have them part of our part of us in the valley here.
And her husband was in the training. You know what I
He
mean.
was.
And,
Honor
you
guard.
know
He was.
what
He
I
was
mean?
my boss for just.
Yeah,
a
he
little
was
bit.
his boss. That's right.
So that's you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
We loved making those videos and for the recruitment and stuff like that. So no, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this one is.
Nope.
That's it.
That's all they had. Yeah.
Oh well, then let's talk for a little bit. This normally means we're over. You know what I'm saying? But we have a little bit of time, so let's
Yeah.
talk for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the Micah May car still at the other station?
It's at our new station.
The new station.
New station. We just had the recruits wash her up and take
And-
care of
and-
it just
right.
like a month ago.
And have you seen that car?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen it.
And when you're new to Nevada State Police, you did not have the privilege of knowing him or
No.
or that situation. When you see things like that, does it give you like even more inspiration to tell the people that work underneath you to of the job that they need to do because of the things, or how does that, like, when you look at it, did you touch it? Do you feel it? What do you feel?
Yeah, so when I seen that car and several other troopers' vehicles, it just reminds us of how dangerous their job really is, and but at the same time, you realize that it's a family here. They all talk about them. I think not a day goes by where my coworker Betsy has a story for each one of them that she tells me about. So yeah, seeing those vehicles, and it just reminds us daily of how risky their jobs are, and I want to do my best to make sure that they're safe. Do my part to make sure that they're out there, safe. So.
And so Trooper Hagstrom loves to get different people on here. So tell us about your experience of, like, so Trooper Hagstrom calls you, right? And he says, listen, so what are you doing in a couple weeks on Thursday? And you're like, why? You know what I mean? Tell us about this.
I had to do it in person, so you
Okay.
couldn't really,
Oh,
that's even more pressure.
Yeah,
I
more
want to know.
pressure.
So tell me about this conversation. He comes up to
Yeah.
you. Well, tell me. I want to know.
So I just got to work. I haven't
Hey,
even,
first thing.
Yeah, first thing.
I
Okay.
haven't had my second cup of coffee or anything. He's all, hey, stay there for a minute. I gotta go do something real quick. I was like, I need to talk to you. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll sit here. And I was doing checking my emails, getting ready for the day.
Yeah.
He comes in and is like, hey,
Now, do you have an office?
yes, I have a small office.
Small with like a
Yeah.
door and
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have a desk door.
So he comes in.
So he comes in, pulls up the chair. He's all, hey, you don't have anything going on Thursday, right? I was like,
I guess not.
no, I don't think so. He's all, well, you're coming with me. You're gonna go on this show, and we're gonna talk about SkillBridge and what you do in the with the state police. So that's how.
Yeah, I kind of bombarded him.
That's how it usually goes. though.
Right,
Like,
100%. And then so this
Not
morning-
really. I got a little kind of part of it,
I'm trying. Believe me, you should have saw him the first show. Let me tell. I got a funny story for you. You're gonna like this.
Oh, boy.
Now, and so when you come on, when you're getting ready this morning, you have no idea what to expect, right? And so, like, when you get,
I sat down and explained everything.
Yeah, he
I
explained.
did.
do you
Yeah.
get nervous before when you're sitting in the parking lot? Like, what is going to happen this morning?
oh yeah, I was thinking about it all night. Like,
Right.
Like me, I'm
sorry.
People say I'm a man of few words, so I'm like,
Right.
I got to talk for an hour.
Right. Like, what am I going to talk about?
What am I
Right.
gonna talk? So yeah.
I told him, hey, you won't have to talk much. It'll probably be me and Louie doing
Yeah.
a lot of talking.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so you'll be, pretty basic questions or whatever. Nothing to worry about. So,
Yeah.
no, he's doing great.
Doing great.
I love it.
When so Trooper Hagstrom, he comes back as the critical fill. We need critical fills, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
He comes back, and I always make the joke that they said, okay, listen, this is going to be your job, and this is all the things you're going to be doing, and oh, by the way, you got to go on this weekly talk show with this guy Neil, and so he came on the first. At that time, I had the sofa, right?
Yes.
That you sank in the sofa. Nobody liked it, but no one said anything to me. But it was blue, and anyway, now we have the chairs, so like it's anyway. And so he sits over there, and the major sits over there, and he's sitting like this, like right in the front, and because we don't know what to expect, right? And so the thing is that the Nevada State Police always wants to put their best foot forward.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so one of the best things that I love about Trooper Talk, right, is this. Because nobody ever gets an opportunity like you, okay? You get to hang out with him, right, in a non-trooper-esque way, right? Like, they come over to his office, or you know what I mean? Like, you can't see beyond the piles of crash reports and things like this that he has to do. But, like those are the type of things that people never get to see. Because, unfortunately, most of the people that get to meet him or meet the troopers, right? They have their smoky hat on. They're like, license, registration, insurance. well, what's the problem? Or, don't bother me, or I'm not rolling down my window, or, you know what I mean? Whatever. And so even the nice ones, right? It's still, sometimes threatening. It's still an infraction. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And so nobody gets to see them in the laughing and the joking and the, you know what I mean? Come over here. Nobody gets to see that. And so one of the things that's why I love about the Trooper Talk is that people get to see them and they get to laugh and joke and all this type of stuff. So these type of stories are so very special.
Yes.
Because we're looking for not only Nevada's finest, but we're looking for anybody who wants to do critical fill or transfer from another agency or the skill bridge or all these different things. And so it's really important. And I come to you because the laughing and joking is what we love, right? We hug, we say hello. I mean, it's like, it's the thing that, for me, that I look so forward to on my Thursdays, is just to be able to come and hang out and just, think of something in my mind. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today.
And the big surprise is bringing his mom and
Yeah.
not even knowing. Those are the best,
We didn't tell him. Trooper Hagstrom brought him in. She was sitting right there. And he's like, oh, hi, Mom. How's it going? Great to see
I
you.
was stressed. He goes, I got a surprise for you. I'm like, what's happening right now? I was expecting the major to come and be like, hey, you're fired.
And so this is the wonderful thing, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and so from the command staff who comes on, right? We love them. You know what I mean? And they love everybody who works for them, and they appreciate them. And so seeing this is like, it's very, very special. And for being a non-sworn person that works, right?
Yeah.
And then hearing this is what we want to hire, right? So I want you to do me a favor now. You ready for the part that we didn't tell you about?
All right, let's do it.
All right, bro. You see this camera right here?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to look into that camera, okay, and tell people about not only the skill bridge, okay, but I want you to tell people that if they want to come and hang out with you, and if they have an interest in the mechanic field, and they would love to spend time with them, that they can do that by going to Nevada State Police.
Correct. So, anybody that's planning on separating or retiring from the military, I highly recommend doing the skill bridge. It's a perfect opportunity for you to learn something and get integrated with a new department or a new agency. You get paid to learn a new job. You get paid to meet new people, meet a new team. It's a great opportunity. It's rewarding, and you never know where your future will take you. And working with the Nevada State Police as a civilian, what I can say is that they're all professionals, but they're also human beings. I deal with them daily. They're great to interact with. Their personalities are all different. They all have different types of hobbies. Just like they're not robots. They're not machines. They're human beings. They like racing cars. They like hanging out on the weekends. They like hunting. So it's So if you get a chance to come down and do a skill bridge, or with the Nevada State Police, I recommend it. It's rewarding. It'll be a good opportunity, and I guarantee you'll enjoy what you do. And if you want to come take a look at the maintenance shop and see how the mechanics operate, you're more than welcome. They do all types of services, from oil changes to there's been occasions where they've had to remove engines and transmissions. Additionally, if you're into radios, communications, we have our radio shop, communication specialist. They handle all the radios that are in the vehicles, the handheld radios, the vehicle lighting. There's a lot that goes into the operation, but yeah, come on, check it out. Come meet these folks. They're great.
Excellent.
Fantastic. You're the next spokesperson.
Hired.
Hired. You know what I mean?
Hired.
But the thing is that this isn't what he does, right? And so he just speaks naturally. He speaks from the heart of like, look, like this is what I've gone through. This is what I am. And so Nevada State Police is looking for these type of people, right? They have to really want it. And so we talk about the fact of that if you go to that academy on day one, they know.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, you know, you have to want it, and it takes a very special person to want it, right?
We say it all the time. We're looking for Nevada's finest, and the reason for that is because the people that already work for us are Nevada's finest. From the higher ups, command staff, all the way down to our civilian staff, we couldn't do half of the stuff that we do without our civilian staff and our admin staff. So yeah, we absolutely want Nevada's finest. Whether you're starting from the very beginning, you don't have any law enforcement experience whatsoever, we will bring you into the academy and teach you from ground level all the way up to be an efficient and safe trooper or officer with parole and probation. As well as any laterals from any other agencies from in town, out of state, wherever your agency might take you. As long as your certification transfers over to Nevada, we will take you as a lateral officer, and we'll match you your years of service up to 8 years. So let's say you worked at a different agency for 6 years, we will match your pay for up to 6 years with Nevada State Police. As well as critical fills. We are looking for critical fills as well. If you are retired from a law enforcement agency, we will bring you on as a critical fill. And then there's different positions for that specific position as well. You can go out and work the road if you wanted to come back and work the road. You can come in and be kind of like a critical fill officer in the office, kind of doing different functions and duties, special events. You can be assigned to training. There's just different opportunities for you if you're already retired and want to come back and collect a second kind of paycheck as well, already on top of your pension. As well as the SkillBridge program. We're looking for people who are looking to separate from the military, and they're just kind of not sure what they want to do. Absolutely, come do the SkillBridge program with us and let us kind of push you in the direction that you want to go if you're looking for law enforcement. So we're looking for Nevada's finest to come and make a difference with themselves, but not only themselves, but also the public.
We always say about your stripes, right? On the side here.
Yep.
Right?
That and a
You know-
quarter will get you nothing.
Right.
So throw it out there.
You know, the thing is that the camaraderie,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, we had your wife come on here, not on the show, but she
Sure,
was,
sure.
she was
Watch
here
one time.
with your friend, right?
Yep.
By the way, you know,
Well,
this came up, you know, I forgot to tell you this book. This is his childhood friend.
Yeah.
He brought his childhood friend here, right? Literally, 4 out of 5 of his friends growing up all did law enforcement, right? Straight from like the high school. Does that make sense? And his friend, right, who had bigger arms than him, okay, was the rammer guy.
Okay.
Well, and so anyway, so I was on the Amazon the other day, and I don't know, so this book came up.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like cool. Yeah, anyway, he signed it to me. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a SWAT officer
Right,
out there, and,
so
then he also
so
played
he
for
gave me the
Nebraska
coin and all
college
that.
football.
And so,
Oh, nice.
you know,
Coin.
Sergeant Smacka,
Yeah.
right? All right. So Sergeant Smacka, okay. So Sergeant Baracek was we sort of started the Trooper Talk, but it wasn't really Trooper Talk. I just always wanted to interview him, and we started interviewing him before he was a sergeant, and then he came on with Sergeant Smacka before he was a sergeant to do the Trooper Talk,
Yes.
and then Sergeant Baracek left, and then Sergeant Smacka came on with Trooper Wellman, and then Sergeant Smacka left, and anyway, to make a long story short, these flowers are from Sergeant Smacka's mom.
Wow.
And so I've had these for I think about 2.5 years. So you can wave at her because she always watches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The camaraderie, the friendships, all these things that are very serious, but we laugh and we joke and all this. And so when we film like the 200th episode, and we film all these, and there was more police cars here than the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? We had everybody here, right?
Yeah.
But you asked, you said, listen, this is really important. Like, this is the 200th episode.
Absolutely.
Or this is this. And so, like, when you go and you ask people to come on the show, they have so much respect for you as who you are and the person and everything like this, right? That they just know you're not trying to set them up.
No.
You know what I mean, or anything. Like, you're just genuine. And you're just like, listen, like, it's really important And so it's really important to you personally. And then when we talk about the camaraderie of all the troopers and everybody that you work with, all the time that we always talk, that's the thing that you talk about, and it's so very special, right?
Yeah, and it's not all just respect for me, but a lot of respect to you and what you do for the community and for the Nevada Highway Patrol. I can't talk much higher than anybody else than you for what you do for the Nevada Highway Patrol and our other agencies around the valley. It's amazing what you do, Neil, and people need to realize what a great benefit that you provide. And not only this, just with this show, you know, we provide information to assist people in the public and questions they may have about police that they've never known about. And they get to see the other side, just like he said. You know, we're not robots. We got families at home. You know, once we take these uniforms off, you wouldn't know us. Well, I might look like a cop a little bit, what they say with my bald head or something. But these guys with the slick hair here, you wouldn't even know they're in that law enforcement. You could sit down and have a beer with them and enjoy their conversation. You know what I mean? They're just like everybody else. But one thing about Nevada Highway Patrol is we're a very close-knit family. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. You know, he's got captains and lieutenants calling him from the north. Everybody from the north down to central to south Nevada, you know, our family is below 400 troops, and everybody knows their families, has great respect for everybody and what they do. And there's not a day that goes by that if a trooper needs help or assistance or something, or they're having something go with their family, they can talk to any of us and we'll help them at any time. And it goes as well as far as the command staff, which you already know because they've been here and you've been to a lot of ceremonies where, you know, they include the wives, you know, and they give the flowers and they tell them, hey, you got one of the toughest jobs, because sometimes, you know, rural troops, they might get called out 2 a.m. to go to a fatal crash or a rollover or something. And the family has to live through that because you're getting up in the middle of the night to get ready and go there, and they're part of that, you know. So we are a very tight-knit family, and we always want people to succeed here. We're not trying to make people fail. We want the best of the best. We expect you to do your job. We don't want you just hanging out and not doing your job. Because the public relies on us, and we're always going to be there, whether you call 911 or Star NHP. If you need an emergency, troopers are coming. And I always quoted the phrase "Nevada's finest," but when I say the troopers are coming, now I might add another one: battle born, battle ready. You know, because we're the battle born state, we're always ready. So we're going to be coming, and we're going to assist you in anything that you have. And do to our best of our abilities with respect, honor, and pride. And that makes a Nevada State Trooper.
Can't say it any better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thanks. It was very, very special. It was very special for you to come here, for you to spend time with us and hang out. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for keeping them safe. We know that, you know, they really, you know, respect that, and believe me, we talk about you all the time, and that, you know, everybody in the shop and everything like this, that the team that you're in charge of, they're fantastic, and these guys and the women too. We always talk about the women. When Trooper Wellman was on here, we had the thing for the Mother's Day, and we always want to include the women, because it's very, very important. You know what I mean? The men and women of Nevada State Police. So thanks again, okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Neil. Appreciate it.
All right, you ready? Right. So this is the final thing you got to do.
All right.
We're going to look at this camera, and then all we're going to do is wave. And then you're like, that's it, it's over. I'm going back to my office now. You ready? All right, thanks a lot for coming, okay? See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.